Well, more potential trouble for Hillary Clinton with new reports that tens of thousands of emails from her time as Secretary of State could also be on a second server. Yes, two. On Fox News Sunday, former Attorney General Michael Mukasey, who is an advisor for Republican presidential candidate Jeb Bush, saying the investigation ultimately has nothing to do with the hardware, but with the person who was in charge of it.
No, it is not a political witch hunt. But we're talking about information that went to the Secretary of State, who is the highest foreign relations officer of the United States. It's inconceivable to me that a great deal of that was not classified. To say that the investigation is not of someone personally is ridiculous. The FBI does not investigate machines. It investigates people. And she's certainly one of the people who's being investigated.
In the meantime, in an attempt to soothe jittery Democrats, Clinton aides have begun highlighting her upcoming Benghazi testimony in October as a potential breakpoint from months of bad headlines. Team Clinton reportedly expects Hillary to do well under questioning and is banking on House Republicans to overreach on this one. One longtime Democratic operative and Clinton confidant even went so far as to say, quote, "It will be the best day of the campaign." Okay, when the best day of the campaign is talking about Benghazi, when 4 Americans were killed because she was too incompetent to get them the security that they needed, and she and Leon Panetta, David, did not send anyone to save those 4 Americans, because remember, they told Obama, we got this. And then they tried to cover it up afterward. When that's the best day of your campaign, you've got pretty big problems.
Look, they're just trying to shift the narrative away from the email server. By the way, the former Attorney General is absolutely right. The FBI investigates people. The server is the instrument. Look, I talked to Chris Peranto. I talked to these guys frequently, the guys that were fighting in Benghazi. To them, this is not a distraction. To them, this is not anything more than dereliction of duty, along with all the security issues. Hillary Clinton is the woman in charge. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. People make decisions. We make decisions in our life. We're held accountable. But Hillary Clinton doesn't want to be accountable. They're going to try and shift it. They're going to paint the Republicans. Here comes the vast right-wing conspiracy again, rather than the facts. What happened in those 13 hours in Benghazi, and what played out before that, and what about the dereliction of duty issue is very important here. What happened in the decisions that were made with assets that were not put out there?
Right. It's one thing to say vast right-wing conspiracy, which the Clintons-Harris have historically said. You can't really say it on this server issue because it's the Obama FBI and CIA that have sort of been fueling this server issue. But I want to talk messaging with you, because I don't think it's smart for the Clinton campaign to go in this direction. And I also think Republicans need to hit on what David said. At best, Harris, both of these issues are an issue of incompetence, profound incompetence, which is not something good for a potential commander-in-chief.
All right, so how do we know that she may see just what you just said? Because she had 2 weeks planned in the Hamptons and she just canceled it. She's coming back a lot early to get on the campaign trail. And where is she going? Ohio, a very important primary state. Well, they all are, but Ohio is very important, particularly for Democrats. You win that, you typically win it all. So the fact that she's cutting that short, going to Ohio on Wednesday now, rather than staying all the way through Labor Day weekend, speaks to the issue of where she thinks she might be. In trouble? I don't know. Is that too big of a word? Let's just try concerned. But in the meantime, you have this issue of exactly where her sponsors and other Democratic lawmakers must be headed. They see all of this. They also remember just a few months ago, I don't know, maybe March, when she said that there was nothing to this scandal and that there was no way that there was any classified information in her email that she would have received or sent out. I mean, now they have to be asking the same questions that many voters have been asking. Can we trust her?
Julie, you have taken some heat for impasse, saying that this email problem is one of her own making.
Yes, I have.
So you agree. Do other Democrats seem to agree with you?
They do. I mean, if you saw an article today, I believe it was the Huffington Post, where you have Ed Rendell and others saying exactly what I said. But look, I think the problem for her is that she's been in this bunker, and taking a 2-week vacation makes no sense to me in the heat of what's going on.
In the Hamptons.
In the Hamptons. What I would have done if I were in her shoes is try to change the subject. Go and campaign and talk about about whatever the issues you want to talk about, income inequality, global climate change, whatever you want to talk about that's going to really engender your base to get very excited about you. So what you should do, take questions from the press and go out there and campaign.
You're dreaming if you think she's going to take
questions. Where she was in the
questions.
Hamptons, though, because the house that they rented was $100,000 for
Silly.
2 weeks.
Silly.
So that was probably not the middle
Bad
class she
optics.
was looking
And
for.
Melissa, how are they making so many mistakes? I mean, I remember the days when Bill and Hillary were president, and remember they polled to figure out where they should go on vacation, where the people wanted to see them go, and it was within the 50 states, and it was a Midwestern state, maybe it was Colorado. That seems to be, I don't know, absent now. They're tone deaf. And she has tried to talk about other issues, like incarcerations and ending the era of incarceration. It hasn't worked. She can't change the subject.
I think a lot of it is hubris. I think you're also underestimating what she's doing in the Hamptons. I mean, that's where her money comes from. All the hedge fund billionaires love to support her.
Yeah.
They are all out there right now. She is raising money. She is on the campaign trail. She just happens to be doing it from a house that costs $100,000.
They have lovely $40 Cobb salads in the Hamptons as well.
Nick and
Only
Tony's,
40?
great place.